The materials are all written, but they were not in one place. They were scattered in the possession of this man or that man, in the custody of this person or that person. So the first attempt was made immediately after his death, within 1 year, by his successor Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. Well, that was true. Now, for the community which lived with the Prophet, there was no problem. They can recite, and those who can read the papers, they can read. We have examples of papers being used. Papers are any material on which writing can be held in the time of the Prophet. The story of Omar, how he became Muslim, is very unique. He came out, he was very much opposed to the Prophet Muhammad and was very much annoyed that he is trying to create problems and trouble in the society. We were living in peace, there was no problem, but now this man comes and then he starts calling them to a new religion and then passing a message which is completely alien to us. So one day he became very furious and then took his sword and proceeded to the place where the Prophet was staying with the intention of killing him. So while he was going there, a man met him on the way and asked him, "Where are you heading to?" He said, "I'm going to kill this man, Muhammad." He said, "Why?" Because he's creating problem for the community and all that. He said, "Okay, first go to your own house, your sister's house, and see, because she has become Muslim." So now he was filled with anger and he went to her house and he heard some sound coming. So when he entered, there was a man who was teaching his sister some verses of the Qur'an. He hid himself, and then Omar, in anger, hit his sister and against the wall, and she was hurt and blood started coming from her head. Seeing blood, Omar felt very ashamed of himself and then asked her, "What is that? And what you are reading?" She said that, "No, I'm not going to show it to you." He said, No, just show it to me." He said, "No, not like that." But anyhow, she brought the paper from which she was being taught by that companion who was there. So mean that the writing started in Makkah very early, and there were materials which were circulating among the community and used by them. So anyhow, all these were available at the time when the Prophet ﷺ passed away. So there was no problem. The materials are all written, but they were not in one place. They were scattered in the possession of this man or that man, in the custody of this person or that person. So the first attempt was made immediately after his death, within 1 year, by his successor Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. And then the reason for that, the motivation for that was because immediately after the death of the Prophet, certain tribes rebelled. They went back to their former religion, denied Islam, and they took in for indication for that was that they refused to pay zakat, one of the obligatory duty. So Abu Bakr decided to fight them, and there were some false prophets as well, and the fighting was very, very serious, very severe and very costly for Muslims. Many people were killed, and among them were some of those who memorized the whole Qur'an by heart. So now Omar felt that if fighting goes in this way, we don't know how long, many more people will be killed, and maybe we come to lose certain portion of the Quran. So he came to Abu Bakr and then suggested to him to make to start compiling of the book, which of course he did. And then after a few years, of course, it was with Abu Bakr for some time. When the third caliph came, then the reading and reciting was standardized and more copies were made. We will come to this.
We'll come to that later. Okay.